Hey everyone, welcome to Kicking with Kipes. I'm Kipes, and today is December the 15th. There's 10 days left till Christmas, and we got a couple games to cover tonight, so let's get into it. Our day starts off in Chicago, where the Islanders were facing off against the Blackhawks. The Blackhawks, they waited till the very last minute of the game to go ahead in this one, with Connor Bedard scoring with 54 seconds left in the game tonight to lift them to that victory. Connor Murphy quickly scored again right after Bedard did into the empty net to add that insurance marker for the Blackhawks. You can call it luck, you can call it whatever you want. The Blackhawks did score that 4-3 goal with a minute left in the game. It was a bit of a messy play, but a goal is a goal, like we've always been saying. Bedard, he found the puck in the slot after Donato got denied by Sorokin, and then Bedard, he takes the puck, slightly squeezes it right between the pads, and it just rolled. It trickled right over the goal line. Still counts. Gave the Blackhawks the 4-3 lead. Teuvo Teravainen, he had a really good game for the Blackhawks tonight, having a goal and 2 assists. That was his 7th goal of the year. Former Maple Leaf Ilya Mikheyev also scores his 3rd of the season. Taylor Hall gets his 7th goal of the season. You can call it the lucky number 7 because Teravainen, Bedard, and Taylor Hall all got their 7th goal of the season tonight. Soderblom was between the pipes tonight for the Blackhawks, making 30 saves, and they improved to 10, 19, and 2 on the season. Ryan Pollock, Simon Holmstrom, and Noah Dobson, they were the 3 goal scorers for the Islanders tonight. Sorokin was in net for the Islanders. He made 18 saves, who dropped to 12, 13, and 7. A very lackluster season that the Islanders are having under Patrick Roy so far this season. It's a tough look for the Islanders, who are looking to get back into the picture of any chance of having a playoff run, and it's tough because they just beat the Blackhawks 5-4 on Thursday night, and they just could not repeat that again tonight. Blackhawks beat the Islanders at home Sunday afternoon. Our next stop is in Carolina, where the Hurricanes hosted the Blue Jackets. They got the win at home 4-1 over the Blue Jackets. The big story in this one was Dustin Tokarski, the 35-year-old goalie who has been out of hockey for a bit and then came back and signed on December 2nd a 1-year, 2-way contract with the Hurricanes as they needed some relief in net. He made 27 saves in his big return to the NHL. The Hurricanes improved to 19, 10, and 1, which is very good because they had lost 2 of 3 before this. Another standout player for the Hurricanes tonight was Jordan Martinook, who had a goal and an assist. Jordan Stahl, Thunder Bay, Ontario native, he also had 2 assists in this game, helping the Hurricanes get to their victory. Sebastian Aho, William Carrier, and Jesper Kotkaniemi was the other goal scorers for the Hurricanes tonight. Kotkaniemi made it 4-1 around the 6-minute mark of the third period, putting that nail in the coffin for the Hurricanes. The Blue Jackets, they have now lost 4 in a row. They're 0-2-2 in this span. Dmitry Voronkov, he was the lone goal scorer for the Blue Jackets today. Elvis Merzlikins, he also made 24 saves in this game. They have lost 7 of their past 8 as well, which is not a good run that these Blue Jackets are on. They need something to get a little spark underneath them and get back on track. Hurricanes beat the Blue Jackets at home on Sunday afternoon 4-1. We go to Toronto now, where the Maple Leafs hosted the Buffalo Sabres today in Toronto. They had a bit of a scare at the beginning of the game, but ended up winning 5-3 on Sunday afternoon. Couple big games and big performances by guys who really needed it in this game tonight. John Tavares, he scores his 14th career NHL hat trick. Tavares also really needed this game really badly, as he's been on a bit of a slide as well. You haven't really noticed that he's been on a slide, but he really needed this game. A lot of people were starting to talk about what's going on with Tavares. Is he going to be worth a new contract in the offseason? I still think he's worth a new contract in the offseason, but I think he should be coming in at like $4 or $5 million at max. Me and my old coworker in Ontario have always been fighting about if Tavares is even worth having on the team anymore. I'm still a big advocate for the former captain, I guess I should say now, but at the same time, Brandon, I think you're wrong. I think he's still a good player. Nick Robertson and Max Domi each get a goal and an assist in this game. They both desperately needed to get points in this game to get that mental clarification of how to play hockey almost again. Both of them had been struggling. Domi was hurt for a bit, but you could tell that Domi wasn't his normal self before that injury. Nick Robertson, he had sat for 4 games, I think it was, before this game against the Sabres, and yeah, they both desperately needed this one. The Maple Leafs are now 19, 10, and 2. Good record so far. They lost last night in Detroit, where I was pretty pissed off, where they had a very lackluster performance. Bobby McMahon, he also had 2 assists in this game. Dennis Hildeby, he was between the pipes for the Leafs today after Anthony Stolarz had been put on IR today. Hopefully, Stolarz is back as soon as possible, as he was having an absolutely amazing season. But the Hildebeest, hopefully he can hold his own. He gets the win tonight, which is very good because his last game before getting sent back down to the Marlies was a 6-2 shelling against the Blue Jackets, a team that we just talked about having a very bad little stretch. Jack Quinn, he scored twice for the Sabres today. You knew it was that kind of game for him because every time I looked at the screen or even was listening to it, you could tell, oh, here's Jack Quinn. Jack Quinn was touching the puck everywhere tonight. He was having an exceptional game. Devin Levi, it was his first game in a very long time today too, but he gets the loss. The Sabres are now 11-16-4 and have lost 10 games in a row. 0-7-3 in that span. They are absolutely hot pile of garbage right now. I mentioned this last night again too. The GM of the Sabres was the Wiener of the Week on Wednesday again, but at the same time, what else can this team do? I have no idea what's going in Saberland. Something needs to happen, and I think it needs to happen now. The Leafs, they were down 3-1 at some point in this game. It was not looking good. I was already making notes in my phone about how bad of a performance this was after another bad performance against the Wings last night, but those notes got deleted as they scored 3 goals in a 2.5 minute span, 2 minutes and 31 to be exact. And that was all started off by Nick Robertson. Beautiful shot against Devin Levi, beating him top shelf. Max Domi also desperately needed this game. It was his first goal of the season in his 23rd game played. Absolutely horrendous start to the season for him. You could, like I said earlier, he was hurt and you could tell that something was off, but that's no excuse. If you're hurt, get off the ice and give a healthy player a chance to make a difference for this team. It was also Domi's ending of a 16-game personal drought. So whoever has him in fantasy in whatever league, I'm sure they had dropped him by this point, but 16 games without even a point, that's a really bad stat for Domi. And you could tell as soon as he scored that goal, that monkey off his back was taken off. And I'm sure if you were listening very carefully, you could hear that scream that came out of that man because he let a scream go after he scored a goal, a huge weight off of his shoulders. Leafs beat the Sabres 5-3 at home Sunday afternoon. Moving on, we have the Vegas Golden Knights playing the Minnesota Wild in Minnesota in a battle of 2 extreme heavyweights in this league right now. Shea Theodore, he had a goal and assist in this game. Jack Eichel had 2 assists for Vegas tonight, who really needed this bounce back win against another heavyweight. They played Edmonton on the other night, and tonight they played Minnesota and got the job done. Ilya Samsonov, the former Leaf, I feel like I'm saying that a lot in these videos because there's a ton of former Leafs in this league right now. He made 21 saves in tonight's game, bringing the Vegas Golden Knights record to 28-3. Although they did lose to Edmonton 6-3 on Saturday night, they came to Minnesota on the back of a back-to-back and ended up getting the win tonight. They're 5-1-0 in their last 6 games. Kirill the Thrill Kaprizov, he stays extremely hot right now. He's on an amazing run right now. He scores 2 goals for the second game in a row. Unfortunately, it wasn't good enough to get me over the edge for my fantasy team, but that's okay. Matt Zuccarello, he also had 2 assists in tonight's game for Minnesota, who their record diminishes to 27-4. Unlike the Golden Knights, who lost on Saturday, win on Sunday, the Wild, they win on Saturday, lose on Sunday. So a bit of a back and forth for both these 2 juggernauts. Philip Gustafsson for the Wild, he was going to get the start tonight, but Jesper Wallstedt got the late nod for this game after Philip Gustafsson came down with an undisclosed injury. He made 24 saves in the losing effort. This game, it was the back and forth game that you would kind of hope for between 2 big teams in the league, keeping the game exciting. Kaprizov, he scored early in the game to go up 1-0 in the first, and then Victor Olofsson, he scores 7 seconds into a power play about halfway through the first period. At about 6 minutes into the second period, Shea Theodore, he pots his 4th goal of the season, but then Minnesota responds about 10 minutes later when Kaprizov scores his 2nd goal of the game and his 22nd of the season. Absolutely amazing season that Kirill's having. The only goal in the 3rd period came from Victor Olofsson. He scored his 2nd of the game. Like Kaprizov, it was Olofsson's 7th goal of the season, deflecting it off of Freddie Gaudreau's stick and then into the back of the net, past Wallstedt for the game-winning goal. The Vegas Golden Knights, they defeat the Minnesota Wild 3-2 in Minnesota on Sunday night. Last but not least, we have the St. Louis Blues facing off against the New York Rangers in St. Louis tonight, where the Blues, they held on for a 3-2 win, continuing the New York Rangers' woes. Jordan Kyrou, former captain of my former hometown Sarnia Sting, he scored in his fourth straight game, while Robert Thomas, he also had a good night. He got a goal and assist for the Blues. The St. Louis Blues, they had lost their past 2 games, but Joel Hofer, he came into the net tonight making 26 saves. Pavel Buchnevich, he also scores. This was Hofer's 4th straight win for the Blues, making his start. The New York Rangers, I don't know what's going on with this team. Their record drops to 15, 14, and 1. They're almost at 500, which is completely unacceptable for the Rangers standards. Jonathan Quick, he was in net for the Rangers tonight, making 21 saves. The Rangers have lost 4 of 5, including 5-1 last night against the Kings. I just don't know what's going to happen with this team. In my opinion, either someone's going to get fired or someone's going to get traded very soon because they just can't keep up with this mediocrity for much longer. 2 big omissions for the Rangers today. One was Artemi Panarin, who missed his first game of the season with an upper body injury. I'm not exactly sure what was going on, and I'm sure we won't find out because teams don't like to disclose exactly what the injury was, kind of like with Austin Matthews when he went all the way over to Germany. Nobody really knew what was going on. So teams, when they play against the Rangers, they won't know what to target on Panarin and make his life even more miserable. Capo Caco, he was also a scratch for the Rangers today, but it was a healthy scratch because he has not been doing good. The former number 2 pick in the 2019 draft, it just hasn't worked for him on the Rangers. He's had little blips here and there, but just has not been able to pull it together for a long stretch of time for the Rangers. It was too little too late for when the Rangers scored back-to-back goals. They scored twice in just over a minute in the third period when Brett Berard and Will Cooley scored their 2nd goal and their 11th goal respectively. So a little short and a little sweet, but the St. Louis Blues, they end up beating the New York Rangers 3-2 in St. Louis. So it was a very good night for the home fans. What do you think will happen? Will the Rangers trade somebody, or will some heads fall at Madison Square Garden first? I just don't know which one it'll be. Thank you so much for watching this video. Stay tuned as we cover more games this coming week. I don't think there's many 14 or 15 games this week, so thank goodness for that because those were some late nights, but I'm not complaining. This has been a ton of fun. Hopefully you've enjoyed those videos, and we'll see you on the next one.